Well, interestingly enough, we came to Canada because two things happened. One, I was going to go with a friend, and she wanted to go to Montreal, I think it was. And I wanted to go to Toronto, so to the Sick Children's Hospital. So we agreed she would come ahead of me, go to Montreal, and then she would come to Toronto, and we would both be there. So she was a nursing colleague. So she did that, and so she told me all about Canada. And then my brother was going to university in Aberdeen, and I was then living in London with my husband and my daughter. And so he came down to work during the summer holidays, and he had a friend with him who was in medicine, and his friend had traveled around Canada and saved up all his money to pay for him to go through university. So he told us all about Canada. So between the two, we decided we'd go up to Canada House in London, England. So we had an interview there and passed it, and then we were to come to Canada. However, we wanted to go to Toronto, but they wouldn't let us. We had to come west. We were not allowed to go east. They were trying to settle the West End. 1965 is when we came to Canada. We decided we'd pick Edmonton because it sort of was in the middle. We could have gone to Calgary, but that's... And when we came here, it was snowing. April it was. And we ended up in Calgary. And then we had to take a train to Edmonton. And the air rails were flooded. So you looked out the window, you saw wood. And then we went to Red Deer. And we picked Red Deer because it was in the middle of Edmonton and Calgary. And boardwalk, they had no pavement, nothing. It was hilarious. And they put us into they called it the Buffalo Hotel. And I have to tell you, when I went to the movies when I was a kid, I used to always cheer for the Indians, not the cowboys who were always winning. And so one of my biggest thrills was if I came to Canada, I was going to see some Indians in all the regalia. So we ended up in the Buffalo Hotel, which was quite the cultural shock, but a very, very nice immigration officer. And one time when we came into the hotel, we were only there for a wee while till we got settled. And when we came in, there was a TV in the lobby of this Buffalo Hotel. It was unbelievable. And I saw these people watching this television. I thought, when did the Mongolians come to Canada? I was trying to think my history. I couldn't remember that. So I said to John Wood, I says, when did the Mongolians come to Canada? He says, what Mongolians? I said, the Mongolians that are watching the television. He says, those aren't Mongolians. I said, no, what are they then? He says, they're Canadian Indians. I said, you have to be kidding. There wasn't not one feather in sight. I was shattered. It was like discovering the day I felt that was the same day I felt exactly the same when somebody, I was 7, I think, told me there was no Santa Claus. I just died. I was shattered. I was shattered. Never got over it. The only time I met an Indian in full regalia, I was so excited. We were in Banff, and I think we'd gone up the mountain, and my mother-in-law was visiting from London. I said, my God. Said, fully dressed. It was magnificent. I said, I wonder if we could have our photograph taken with him. So we asked, would he mind, not be offended? Oh, no, that was fine. So we did, and then there was a charge. He was up there making money. It's okay,
you got your picture.
I had my picture.